Welcome back to Rusty Judgment. Today, we are gonna put in a new kitchen faucet.
Don't try this at home.
Warning, what you are about to see is being brought to you by an unauthorized, unlicensed, unprofessional individual who holds a driver's license only. Hey, thanks for coming back. Thank you for watching these videos. If me explaining it can help you out, and then you can feel confident to be able to tackle this on your own and not have to hire someone, then I'm all about this. So today's gonna vary wildly because depending on what faucet you have, what faucet you're putting in, will kind of vary quite a bit of different things that will come into play. Also, depending on what you have for plumbing, as far as how your valves connect and things like that, that will also vary today. I have brand new PEX water lines and brand new valves because I just installed those. So if you have like copper lines or plastic lines or PEX lines and you have like different style valves, or sometimes like, so I'm actually super like cautious around doing anything with old valves that have not been touched in a long time. And by valves, I mean this guy under here where you turn your water on and off. So these are just quarter turn valves and they're brand new. I just put them in. But you might have like old screw kind. You might have quarter turn or 90-degree turn ones. Old valves, they tend to get really corroded. They don't like being moved. If you have super old valves, be very careful doing this because sometimes just closing them and reopening them makes them leak. Cautious about doing that. Okay, so first thing we are gonna do is we are gonna close both water line, both valves, so that the hot is closed and the cold is closed. And then what we will do is we are gonna take off these guys, both of them, that's the water line connections. And then underneath here, we are gonna unscrew all these guys, which is what holds the faucet down. And then this one, because this sprayer on this one is over here, we are gonna disconnect this over here, which looks like it's just a, oh, all right, that worked. That came off real easy. So that's another thing to note. You will be dripping water today if you're doing this. So have either a towel down or a bucket. All right, so I'm just gonna take a crescent wrench and climb in back here and just loosen these up. And again, this is gonna leak water. I did find some napkins that I got, so I can soak up some of this water. So we're just gonna loosen them up, take them off, both sides. Okay, now, lying on our back underneath the sink, we're gonna unthread these guys. They're probably kind of tight. Also, if you notice, my sink's not tightened up yet because I just mounted it in a new countertop. All right, so those you just untwist them all the way off. All right, now that that is off, we are just gonna grab the faucet and pull up and out of there. Sprayer, get it out of there. As you can see, this is gross. Yours will look gross too. I don't actually have any steel wool here. But if you have this off, take some steel wool and just scrub it all up really nice and get it nice and clean. What we're gonna do now is, this is the faucet I got. You can get whatever kind of faucet you would like. Just be sure that if you have a faucet that has a plate, that you either get another faucet with a plate or you have to get caps that will cap those. They just like push in and then they'll cover them up. Then you could put a single spigot in there. You can also, so what I did is I just got exactly what was in there. So sprayer end with a big neck. You can put the sprayer end up here, and this could be like a soap pump. You can do that. There's a whole ton of different things you can get, but just make sure that you get the right one for your sink. And if you're wondering if it has a plate on it, they're all the same. There's not gonna be like a custom spread or anything like that. If you have granite, you will need to make sure that you get one that has thick enough mounts so that it will, because granite's like 1.25 inches thick. This is Formica, which is only 3/4 thick, but it's a stainless steel sink, which is like a 1/8 inch thick. So just know that. And then, I do typically look at the instructions on these. I did look at those before I started the video. All right, so we are gonna pull this guy out. So your water lines are the long ones, and the hot should be labeled hot. And then on the end here, these will come off. This is what we'll bolt it down. And then I'm gonna put that plate on this because it had the plate to begin with. It also has a kind of, I don't know if you'd call it a rubber gasket, but so this will go underneath it. And there's like kind of like a little black rubber gasket that goes down against your sink to try and keep water from leaking into the bottom of your cabinet. So it just kind of sits around there, has a little, so that'll go down first. So this will go down here. That's pretty much it. This is a simple faucet. All right, so you gotta fish all these down inside of here. Like so. It's gonna go like that. So this is the only challenging part to this. This isn't how I would do this, but I'm doing it this way because I'm trying to show you. So this plate that came off will go through here because this comes out of the center of the threads. And then this guy, or your nut, will do the same. And that will get threaded onto here too. So then you have to tighten this all the way up, like several inches of threads. So I typically will spin this guy really close, and then I'll go back above and I will straighten out the faucet. Because right now that faucet is kind of just like swinging all over the place while I'm under here. I've probably got 1 inch to go yet. Okay, so now that that is just snug by hand, we'll go up above and we'll straighten it out. See how it kind of is off? That's just because it was just kind of flopping around. So I'll hold it like this, and then I'll reach back underneath while I'm holding it, and I'll tighten it up like that. I will reach all the way around, but you might not be able to do that. And a lot of times it's really challenging to do. So a second hand would be really nice. Well, like another person. Okay, so that's snug. So it comes with this guy. I forgot all about this tool. So this tool will go up underneath there, and then we'll grab on it out here and we'll just turn it from the bottom. All right, so now this guy will go up it like that. And then it'll go all the way up here. There you go. So now you can get it a lot tighter with just this, but you'll want to grab like a pliers on this end and just really crank it down. Oh yeah, not straight at all. So then I'll straighten it here. All right, I'm gonna give it another crank. I'm gonna put that back on underneath, and I'm gonna use 2 hands and really crank this down. Okay. That ain't going anywhere. We are gonna take out the stuff for the sprayer, which if you have a sprayer in the neck, that will then just thread inside of here and come down. So that's where then this video will start to vary based on what you are installing, because then you'd just be putting like a soap dispenser over here. This guy will just drop down the side in there, but then this threads on just like what we just did. So you'll unthread this. There's a rubber gasket already on here. It'll just set inside this hole, and then you'll tighten this down from below, and then the sprayer end will just drop inside of there. So we are reaching again. All right, so then that's tight. Now this guy, we're just gonna feed it down the hole. Now we're gonna go back below, hook it all up, and it should be done in no time. All right, now we are underneath. And this will all vary based on what you are installing, but typically there are quick connects, ends like this, and then something like that. But they typically just push in. So this says spout. Spout must mean the, oh, I skipped a step. I almost skipped a step, hold on. So you see this thread way up here? It has a sharp edge on it, and it comes with this little guy that threads on the end, and that's just to protect your cord here, or your water line. And that's a lot more important on faucets that have, and it just tightens on the end there, faucets that have a pull-out sprayer, because then this is constantly going up and down with the sprayer end. So now we're going to install this. So these literally just push together, and they should just click. Just like that. And then this guy is going to push in like this. And then it's going to push in over here like that. That's pretty much it. Now we are going to connect the water lines. And this is where we may end up having some more variables based on what you are installing. This is the connection that just comes on the faucet. It is the same as my water lines here, but yours may not match up. I would say that most likely they will, but I have ran into times when something was funky with the house and it just didn't match up. So then you got to run to the store and you got to get some type of a adapter, size it up or size it down, but most likely they're gonna line up. So then you just thread them on, put the one on the hot side that says hot. Hot is typically, at least in the US, hot is on the left. I don't know where hot is at in other countries, but the United States, hot is typically on the left. So then once they're hand tight, you'll just go in and just give them a little snug. I would not crank them on, it'll leak or you'll break it. I'll just give them a little snug because they are compression fittings. Now we can turn the water on. I always go slow with the valves and then I check for leaks. So that one's on. So now I will run the water. What I'll do is that better? Okay, yeah, maybe no light's better. So now that the two valves are on, I'll go up above and I'll turn the faucet on, and then I will come back down here and I'll check all these connections while the water is running to make sure nothing's leaking. And then I'll test the sprayer out, do the same thing, make sure there's nothing leaking, and then I'll clean my mess up and be all done. Oh, that's the hot side. I forgot. I have the hot water heater off. All right, so we got water running there. We have no leaking. Oh, that was just a shiny spot. No leaking there. I forgot the hot water heater's off, so I can't run the hot side. So that's that. And then this guy. Oh, you gotta have it on. So that's it. That's pretty simple, right? There are a lot of variables. This is probably like the easiest because I replaced like faucet for like faucet. The other hardest part about this is getting underneath there. And this is also best case scenario because I have no cabinet doors on the kitchen right now. There's nothing underneath there. And all my water line valves and stuff are all new. So there's a lot of variables here. Now the farmhouse has a nice, beautiful kitchen faucet. I hope this has given you the confidence to be able to do this on your own. If you have a grody old faucet or a leaky one and you've wanted to put a new one in, now you have seen how simple it is to do. Again, there are a lot of variables. I would have to have like 20 faucets lined up side by side to be able to actually go through like each faucet one at a time. I think you get the idea. Thanks for watching. I'd love it if you subscribed. I hope you have a great day and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.